conversations that you'll likely ever have. And I'm going to give you an illustration of what it's like to own your identity and carve out this ironclad core so that whatever external forces, whatever pressures, whatever rejections, whatever disappointments, whatever sorrows, whatever griefs, whatever bereavements that you go through, it's very easy to sustain any kind of environmental pressure that comes your way because you have spent years forming an identity that cannot be destroyed. Meaning, no matter what happens on the periphery of your life, you have designed yourself to be impenetrable by these outside influences. And how you do that and how you find your core and identity comes not from acting by impulse, because impulse is very different than acting and moving from the spirit. And people have a difficult time differentiating the two. Impulse is degeneracy and is coming from the darker forces that haven't been integrated into your spirit. But acting from your heart, even when you are flying in the face of the party line, of the common opinion, if you're bucking trends, if you sequence enough decisions in a row in your life to where you're living life completely on your terms, even if it causes you short-term pain, you do that enough times, you will build indomitable confidence because you're moving from within. There's no outside external forces that are going to fucking knock you off of what you know because it's from direct experience. And I'll give you a fucking prime example. It doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. If you're down a mil, up 5 mil, down 5 mil, doesn't fucking matter. You still have to show up every single day and do the same shit. It doesn't matter what you got. I don't care if you have 4 Bentleys, 5 Lambos, 6 houses, 100 employees. No matter how much you're winning or losing, you still have to show up and go to the gym. You still have to fucking get your nutrition on point. You still have to fucking interface with the real world. You still have to approach women. You still have to show up. It doesn't matter where you're at. Win, lose, or draw, you got to do the same fucking thing every day. And once you can fucking internalize that and understand that nothing changes, nothing changes. All of the fucking money in the world, all the toys, all of that's just a fucking it's by proxy. It's by proxy. It happens by accident. Oh, fell into a fucking Lambo today. It just happened because I'm just fucking living my life, coasting. I'm a fucking eagle flying through the sky. No one can. I'm untouchable. Sometimes I soar down, see what's going on, then I fly back up. You're just kind of floating through life, taking what comes, comfy, cozy with whatever comes your way. And I'll tell you something. When you guys take losses of any sort, your first ab reaction, and this is a fucking terrible, terrible response, your first reflex is to let your swagger decrease. No, no, no. When you get rocked in life, the anecdote is always to double your swagger. Like your swagger should be increasing the more losses you sustain because you just know you're going to get it back. It's literally the formula is so fucking simple. You lose money, you simply make it back. Money comes and goes. But a lot of you have huge mood fluctuations based on what's in your bank account because you're externally oriented. You have zero fucking identity and you're using these external things as drugs. It's a fucking drug. It takes away feelings and emotions. That's why you're so fucking dependent on the market. Whatever the market's doing dictates your mood, dictates your next fucking move. It's because it's a fucking drug. When you have the money, you're numb. When you have all the fucking wealth and all the shit you want, you're numb to reality. And when you don't have it, all the fucking insecurities, everything you've been putting masking tape over comes to the fore. And then what? You got nothing to fall back on. That's why I always tell you the naked man, literally, without technology, without gimmicks, without props, is the most powerful man. You should be training in a state to where you don't need any kind of gimmickry to get what you want. And you see this example extrapolates across the board. Go to any fucking local gym, and look who's using all the fucking equipment. Who's coping? Who's using the fucking weight belt? Who's got the gloves on? Who's got the nicest kicks? Who's got the fucking knee sleeves? The weak motherfuckers. The weakest people in the gym are the ones with all the high tech gear, all the fucking bells and whistles, and the badass motherfuckers are just in there training barefoot. Don't fucking matter. No water, no supplements, just in there fucking training, building their fucking spirit. And that example fucking translates across the board. You are cool as a fan when you sustain loss, when you know who you are, because you know it's inevitable you're going to get it back. And this segues into my next point, which I think a lot of guys are suffering from, and it's unconscious. You have to understand that most people are living under a paradigm of meeting invisible quotas. People have all these fake quotas and pressures on them, like, I have to make 10K a month. I have to have a new bitch every other night. I got to go fucking cold approach women. Dude, that is 100% the opposite of living in your true identity, because every real motherfucker I know, including myself, I go months at a time where I don't want to talk to a bitch because I don't fucking want to. I just want to be left alone. And then guess what? One morning I wake up and I decide that I want one and I just go get it. That's how the fucking game really fucking works at the highest levels. When you genuinely want something, you just go get it. There's no fucking fake pressure. I don't feel any fucking peer pressure. I don't feel like I have to meet quotas. When I want something, I'm just going to go fucking get it. And I'm relentless. And that goes with money. I can be fucking laying out on my patio like a fucking lion under the sun, just chilling. And then I'll have a visualization of something that I want, and I immediately fucking implement it and go get it. And my life is a constant cycle of hunting, resting, because that's just fucking who I am. That's what the voice in my head tells me to do. So all these fucking fake pressures of you forcing everything in your life, feeling like, oh, that chick looked at me, I have to go cold approach, even though you know you're gonna get your fucking head knocked off. All of that's fucking nonsense. It's all nonsense because it's not coming from a genuine place. I am very good and very fine-tuned and honed at what I genuinely want. And here's the thing: a lot of you are torturing yourself. You're torturing and punishing yourself by getting things that you don't even want. That's the fucking grand epiphany. Most of you are literally seeking and you're attacking goals. You're going after shit that you don't even really fucking want. And it's a form of self punishment and self torture. And I said this the other night. This it goes with exercise too. Like, a lot of you guys use the gym as like using the myself every step of the way. And that's a massive fucking distinction. And a lot of you guys are resisting your true desires on a daily basis, and you are in a constant battle against yourself. And you will lose. You will lose every single time because it's a battle of attrition. You cannot go through this life constantly fighting yourself. It's like revving your engine with the emergency brake on. It's just never going to happen. At some point, you truly have to identify and accept who you really are, and you have to go all in on it. It doesn't matter how imperfect it is. It doesn't fucking matter. You just need that confidence that when things are not going right and you don't know what's around the corner, you just need to know that you're just going to keep walking, baby. Bring the fucking fire. Let the fire lick at my feet. Let the pressure mount. Who gives a fuck? Because I'm not changing. My environment can change. Circumstances can change. You can strip me down to nothing, and I still know who I am. I'm still going to walk. I'm still walking forward. Whether I got a limp, whether I'm missing teeth, I don't give a fuck. I'm still walking forward because that's where that confidence comes from. It just knows that it's going to be okay. It's going to fucking be okay because I'm going to triple down on myself. And I don't give a fuck what kind of short-term destruction or what kind of elements are thrown my way that are going to throw me off kilter. I'm going to stay focused on that. And nothing can fucking take. And you guys are defeated way too fucking easily. That's the other thing. You get rejected by a chick, you lose some money. Now you're just defeated. And you just let life. No. I literally will never, ever let money, women, things, material shit ever fucking defeat me. It's not happening. I'm going to come back with a fucking vengeance, and become a much better human being. And I'm going to double my fucking workload because I just refuse to go down in flames from external circumstances. I can deal with it if it's my fault. If I'm putting in the work and I'm not getting what I want, that is so much easier to tolerate and stomach than anything else because it all reflects back on me. And that's what I want. That's ultimately the only thing I give a fuck about is that I am fully responsible for everything that happens in my life. And that comes from that omniscient point of view that I was talking about on Twitter. Living life from the omniscient point of view, you're outside of everything. You're extra environmental. You are standing outside of every situation looking in. It's a way of full blown detachment, which I think is the fucking masculine imperative. Because you got to understand, we talk about the inverted male, we talk about the inverted female. There's also some intangibles that have been inverted in this society. And logic is one of them. I've been thinking about this yesterday. Logic and real rational motherfuckers are very feminine, very feminine. And irrational motherfuckers, people who embrace chaos and people who have no problem just rolling with the punches, that's the new masculine imperative. Logic and reason, yeah, it's fucking great when you're building roads, bridges, and airplanes, but it's horrific in the context of social interactions because you can't take anything at face value anymore in this world. You could 30 years ago. People said what they were, and for the most part, it was probably true. Now you got to dig for the answers. You got to look under the fucking epistemic murk, and you got to wade through the bog in order to get real answers because nothing is what it seems. You can't trust your eyes in 2022. You got to have eyes in the back of your head. You got to have eyes in your fucking cerebellum. You got to be able to discern at a much fucking higher level in order to get a grip over this reality. You take shit at face value, you're gonna get fucked. I can promise you that. And the way that you fine tune that discernment is through embracing when life does rock you and kick your teeth in. Those are the loneliest moments in existence. And those are the moments that you have to hold on to the most. It's the loneliness that a man builds his identity. In that loneliness, when you're not looking for someone else to fucking lean on. How about you cry on your own fucking shoulder for a change? How about you rely on yourself when shit doesn't go right? Why are you always getting on the phone asking other motherfuckers for advice, crying about your pithy little problems? Whatever happened to just fucking leaning on your own back or having your own back? That's true power. That's truth to power. That's how you really get that confidence. But nobody wants to sit through the loneliness. No one wants to sit through it because that's when the emotions are stinging you. That's when all those psychic forces, the shadow that I talk about, that's the integration process. But before any of those emotions or thoughts can even bubble up, you shoot them out of the fucking sky. You shoot them out of the sky before they can be integrated because you don't want to feel a fucking thing. You just want to go through this existence as numb as possible. And that's not the fucking way because you're gonna blunt your experience to the point where you're not gonna have discernment of what's really going on. You have to Anybody who's very insightful, anybody who has excellent advice for other people, the answer to why they have that capability is so fucking obvious. It's because they have the ability to visualize what it would be like if they were in that position because they've journeyed through their own humanity and they've journeyed through their own muck so many times that once you've done that, you pretty much have seen every fucking psychic force that's available. There's no fucking secrets. Nothing surprises you anymore. You've seen it all. But you have to be willing to experience those moments of hardship and pain without numbing them, without turning to porn, without self medicating, without playing fucking video games, without flipping through your fucking phone. The gnawing loneliness, some of those lonely nights. I have had some of the loneliest nights of my life after getting absolutely slaughtered in ventures that I've gone in. And I knew that those were the fucking moments that were going to make me. Those were the moments that were going to give me that lifetime strength that all of us are in search of. Those moments when you can just hang on for fucking dear life and you know you got your back. I didn't need to make a phone call. I didn't need to make a peep. I didn't need to fucking diffuse that energy, put it on someone else. I didn't need to fucking project. I didn't need to diffuse the energy. I fucking embraced that shit. And you use it as fuel when you wake up the next day and you get right back in attack mode. No big deal, baby. Down a mill, up a mill, lose, win, or draw. I'm still showing up. I still got to fucking train. I still got to lift weights. I still got to be a good father. I still got to be a good friend. I still got to show up for the motherfuckers who are depending on me, regardless of what's going on in my life. It doesn't fucking matter. You have to do the same shit day in, day out. You have to build some kind of routine because that's your sanctuary. When shit's not going right, when shit's not going right, you have to jump right back into that routine because that routine puts everything in perspective and it gives you some control over your life. It makes you an imposer. It makes you an inflictor. Men are inflictors. You are designed to inflict onto the world, not to be inflicted upon, not to be a fucking reactor, but an actor. And you just fucking march forward and it doesn't matter what comes your way. It's all and you can't play the game at the highest levels until you understand this. Until you have that iron core and you know who you are and you will stick by your decisions no matter how many people tell you you're crazy, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. If you can actually stick to what you know eventually will bring you to salvation, then you can start playing the game at the funnest, highest levels because nothing matters. Who gives a fuck if the chick leaves you? She didn't bring anything to the table anyway. Who gives a fuck if I lost 2 mil? I'm just going to go make 4 next month. That's actually how it works. That's the actual magic behind life. Is then you can go high stakes on everything. Raise the fucking stakes. Because what do I care if I get blown out? I'm just going to come back the next time fucking stronger. And I'm 34 and I'm telling you this. In your 20s, you can fucking run circle. You can do this shit day in, day out. It'll give you a fucking better education than Oxford. But one thing also, and I've been seeing this a lot on Twitter, a lot of you youngsters, quote unquote youngsters, who are in your early 20s, I hate to break it to you, but that's not young, like at all. Like if you're 22 years old, you're not a young man. You're a fucking full grown man. And you can clearly see the time stream is slowly being pushed back. You got motherfuckers that are literally convinced that being 30 now is like when the game begins. No, 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 no. The game really started beginning when you were like 14, 15. Let's call a spade a spade. And a lot of you guys are coping really fucking hard and pretending like being 21 is like still fucking party time and you got time. You don't have time. You don't have time. You're on the fucking clock now and you're building these habits and patterns that are going to come back to haunt you big time if you don't figure this out now. The clock is not magically going to be gentle and kind to you as you get older because a lot of you really do believe you're just going to wake up a man one day. You think if you can just run out the clock and beat the clock and dribble the basketball out without actually making moves or putting up shots, if you just dribble the ball long enough, that one day magically all your insecurities, all your fucking flaws, everything that you hate about yourself is just going to fucking vanish and you're just going to wake up a man because you hit 30. And I'm here to tell you it's the exact fucking opposite. That shit has a compounding effect and will absolutely ravage your soul. You will wake up 30 and you will be a mess. You will be a fucking mess. So you don't have time. You're not a young man when you're 20 years old. You're just not. You're just not. And we have to break these illusions and start being really fucking real about our situations. Because these precautions that you're taking, every precaution that you take, scared about your money, scared about getting hurt here, you are relying on something outside of yourself for security. And it's a major, major cardinal sin as a man. It's a major cardinal sin because you want to be the guy. You want to be the guy, even if you're not, who, when it all gets taken from you, or the deck gets reshuffled, or the croupier fucking swipes your chips off the table, you want to be the guy who can fucking laugh about it. That's the kind of guy you want to be. You want to be able to laugh at whatever misfortune comes your way because you just know it's laughable because you just know it's coming back. It just has to. It's just going to come back because you're just going to show up every fucking day and still doing what you're doing. You're not going to recoil. You're not going to retreat. You're not going to fucking hunch your shoulders and surrender. Nah. You're going to redouble your efforts. And that's what the game is all about right there. There is a way of dealing with everything. I don't give a fuck if you're sentenced to 20 years in prison. There's a way of dealing with that. I don't give a fuck if you lose an arm. There is a psychological way of dealing with every possible scenario in this life. And once you can really understand that, you're unstoppable because it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. It has nothing to do with your muscles. The mindset that I'm talking about is way more rare than the muscles. The muscles are common. Let's get real. Anybody can go to the gym and get themselves in shape, but how many men can actually carve out a space of happiness and contentment when nothing is going right? When nothing is going right and the odds are against you, and you can still wake up and crack a fucking grin, the fucking Glasgow grin, Glasgow smile. And you can still, because you just know that you're going to carve out a little bit. Everybody knows the world is fucked. Let's get real. Everyone knows the world is fucked. But the real motherfuckers are finding ways to carve out happiness for themselves in spite of that. And that's the fucking mission. And that's the masculine imperative. It's not in your cozy little fucking metrics of logic and reason. It's in the irrational side. It's in the barbaric, uncivilized nature that you are scared to tap into. That's where all the fucking magic happens, because that's where the integration starts. You can't be integrated when you're wearing these masks, when you're playing a role with your boss or you're playing a role with your wife. You have to destroy and penetrate the masks first and drill down to the bottom of what's really fucking going on and who you really are. And you have to start entertaining those desires so that you can actually become the person that you want to be and the kind of man that I'm talking about. The man who is completely cool, calm, and collected no matter what's coming his way. That's the whole game. And anybody trying to take you off that game, it's a fucking ruse. It's a fucking shell game. And you're going to get clipped. I'm going to take a couple questions.
Hey, what's happening, Brute? I just want to say I agree with everything you're saying. Honestly, you hit the nail on the head. Second of all, I want to say that I really, really love your content, man. I was actually looking at your tweets when shit hit the fan with me, and I was 25. I'm 27 now, and I had to really fucking change my shit. So your tweets really helped me. I think for younger people, a lot of younger people too, I think they need to understand that they need to get moving. They need to get in action. I think a lot of these people are telling them to, to play it safe, that you're young, enjoy your younger years, enjoy your college years. And you hit the nail on the head that time flies really fast. And before you know it, you're no longer this college kid. You're no longer this, young man that, everyone sees potential in. Because after 25, potential is done. They want to see results, and then people start resenting you. Then you start listening to other people. So you need to tap into the barbaric side. And what I did was I started taking on ultra marathons and marathons myself. Started opening my own business, and that helped me a lot. And people thought I was psycho and I'm crazy. And then when I started to realize that, okay, this is where it's at. People think that I'm that way because I'm in the right path. So I think you hit the nail on the head. And I also want to say that it's never too late as well. So people are listening to this who are in their 30s and think that it's too late for me now. It's never too late. But you have to attack it. You have to wake up and say, this is what I'm supposed to do. Regardless of how I feel, when I wake up, I have to attack the day. And I have to do the best I can, regardless of the outcome. The outcome will take care of itself. But you just have to keep going every day.
That's it, brother. You sound just like my protege.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thanks for letting me speak.
Rafe, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, Brute? I've just dropped out of university because I didn't agree with the ideology that they were thrusting upon us. I was suspended from work for 2 weeks without pay because my manager was talking shit. We had a bit of a fight. So I do agree about a lot of the stuff you said about surviving setbacks. Like it's just not...
We need you to speak. We need you to speak up, brother.
Sorry. So for anyone who didn't get that, I've been suspended off work for 2 weeks without pay, and I just dropped out of university because I didn't agree with a lot of the leftist ideology that they were, putting upon us. So I just quit, and my parents are most likely going to kick me out of the house for that. So I'm living currently in accommodation. So I do agree with a lot of what you said. Is that you need to sort of get into a more primitive mindset of like, fuck this, do not let it destroy you, and just come back. Like, I have £50 to my name for the rest of the month, but rather than cry about it or whatever, I'm just gonna go out and see what I can do to make the most money for the remainder of the month. And like, now I have more time to go to the gym and do whatever it is I need to do. So and
Exactly.
now I'm not too stressed about it.
Exactly.
Like my girlfriend, she's obviously like telling me, oh, what are you gonna do now? Now you have no career path. So what? Fuck it. I have just so much shit out there to do, and I feel more free now than anything else. Like I feel like I can do anything rather than go out for a set career path, and that's
Of
a
course.
lot to do with what I read from you. Like I would be crumbling into a fucking ball right now, but because I know who I am and I know what I can do, this shit does not affect me slightly.
That's it, man. That's the whole fucking game. And that leads me to my next point, which I'm glad you brought up, is that most people don't understand that they're being guided under the fist of these fake authority figures, these teachers, these docents, these structures are so fake. When I got fired from my first job when I was 18, the first epiphany that I had was you don't you live through it when you quit or you get fired, and you realize how fake all this authority is. Like when you show Freddy Krueger that you're not afraid, he disappears. And so like when I fucking when I got fired and my boss, like I thought that my life was over because my boss was this fake authority figure. And then once you fucking walk out, you realize how fucking just it's all fucking stilted. It's all a fucking mirage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
everything's for the taking, man. Everything's up for grabs in 2022. It's just that fucking simple. Like we're in a fucking reset right now. Crypto's about to tank. Every market's about to be fucked. It's a fucking restart. Everything's restarting. So fucking get liquid, get as powerful and strong as possible now, because the opportunities to absolutely make retarded wealth are coming. So
yes,
now's the time. Now's the time. There's no more time to fuck around. Like that, those days were over. 2016, 2017, it was cool to lounge in a fucking beach chair in Southern California on a rooftop pool. That was cool. Not cool anymore. Like the clock is moving.
understood.
Yep.
Just for the record,
I'm gonna take another question, man. But I appreciate that.
sure thing. Thank you.
We got the Colonel.
Brood, what's going on? Big fan here.
What's going on?
So anyway, I have a friend, and he had been dating this girl for several years, just speaking of setbacks, and it's come to light now that she's been banging his roommate for a large portion of that time. How do you suggest bouncing back from that?
Man, here's the thing with that. That's what that is, man. And nobody can convince me otherwise. That's a very, very pernicious form of denial. I don't believe for 1 second that any man on earth actually can exist in a situation like that and not actually know what's going on. Like you're getting tingles, you're getting all sorts of vibes internally that you know that you're getting cheated. There's no fucking way that these guys are actually existing in these situations for years and having no genuine clue that they're being cheated on. It's like the first stage of grief, and they're stuck in it of just that fucking denial phase. They just don't want to accept it. And I don't buy it for a second. And so dude, it goes back perfectly with what I just said about integrating who you are and having that discernment and accepting hard doses of truth. That is the most powerful tool in your arsenal, is swallowing as many hard pills as you can at once. So
Maybe it was just his inability to swallow those, truth pills. So to
of
speak.
course,
It's probably right under his nose.
Of course, that's what it is. It's always right under our nose. Everything is. All the answers. That's why that morbid curiosity that people have of like snooping through their girls' phones, snooping through their profiles, that is the gayest shit of all time. Because if you really understand how the world works, you don't have to do jack shit. You just have to be who you are, and the answers will come to you. I don't have to do a fucking thing. All the answers will be revealed. I don't have to snoop. I don't have to dig. It's all gonna come to me. It's all gonna fucking come to me naturally. And a lot of guys don't understand that. And that morbid curiosity of snooping and trying to look for things always gets punished because you're always going to find what you're looking for. Always. So denial is a huge fucking problem. It's a huge fucking problem. And I don't give a fuck how inferior a man is. There's no chance that a guy doesn't really know what's going on in that situation. Coping by staying in it.
They live in Disneyland, is what you're trying to say.
That's of course. Rose tinted glasses. They want to protect their naivete. They want to protect their innocence. It's
very dangerous.
It's very, very dangerous, and it's very childish at the same time because a lot of these guys want to be babied. They just want to be fucking babied, and they think that they want to be under the care and fucking protection of other men. That's really what it boils down to. A lot of guys on Twitter are like this. They won't tell you this, but their behavior exhibits that they actually just want to be fucking baby. They want to pat on the head and pat on the shoulder by the entire fucking world. And we live in a fucking jungle, man. You walk around as an adult man trying to be an infant, people are just going to fucking trample you, women included. You're going to get absolutely pissed and stepped on and abused. So thank you for the question. I'm going to keep it moving. Hassan, we can't hear you.
Yo, what's up, bro? So I got two questions. Yo. My first question is, what made you get into gambling instead of things like extreme sports such as mountain biking or something like that? And then my second question is, why do you think most people, especially young dudes, haven't got any urgency in their life?
It's a good question. I've always just had a natural affinity for risk taking. It's just kind of me again. It's kind of just me just being who I am and listening to the voice in my head. I've always gravitated towards games of chance. I've always found that to be a very alluring part of the game. And I mean, God knows, man, I've cracked my head against the wall my whole life to fucking figure that game out. And it's just, I've embraced that. That's just who I am, man. Some of us are fucking gamblers by nature, and some of us are living in denial about it. And that's just who I am. And I fucking run with that shit till the bitter end. And then the urgency question is a really fucking good one. I think that what it boils down to, man, is that a lot of these youngsters are under the impression that if they just, like I said before, if they just wait it out and they stall, that eventually, like, they're waiting for life to fucking smash their teeth in before they act. Like, every guy wants the fucking great epic battle. Every guy wants to prove himself and prove that he can fight and fend for himself above all. And you have a lot of guys that are there's none of these higher virtues. It's a survival strategy for weak motherfuckers. They just want to exist under the dependence and under the thumb of other people because they know that they're never going to hit the street. But when you remove those structures yourself and you have the strength and the balls and the gall not to go rely on your parents when shit's going south, not to rely on your friends when shit's going south, and you pick yourself up and you bootstrap yourself to the higher level and you get yourself out of the rut, that's fucking ownership and responsibility, which nobody seems to want to take. So
that makes sense. I feel
so how can there be a sense of urgency if you know that if you fuck up or you're gonna get bailed out? That's been like the story of my life. Like, I had no bailouts from family. If I fucking splattered myself against the wall and I went to Vegas and I lost my bankroll, I had to fucking figure out how to go home with it. I had to fucking figure out how to go home with a chick that night just to get room and board. I had to figure out how I'm gonna get a plane ticket home because I ain't calling my mom and I ain't calling my daddy. I'm a fucking grown ass man. I'm 21 years old. I'm gonna fucking figure it out. And that's the mentality that a lot of these guys don't have. They know if they fuck up, they can just make a fucking phone call and it'll be the game board will be wiped clean. That's a very bitch ass way to live.
And life will smack you in the face. Honestly, it really, really will. Sorry, I'm cutting in every few seconds.
Man, it was good. It was fucking good questions, bro.
Yeah, it was really good questions, and I was like that actually. I was 20, 21. I was relying on a lot of my family stuff until life really smacked me in the face. I got my heart broken. I got humiliated in front of my family. That's when you hit rock bottom. You either continue to be a little bitch, or you tell yourself, "Yeah, I need to face the truth," and that's where the urgency comes from. But when you put yourself out there, that's when you become that's where you come. That's when the urgency starts coming. That's when you start having setbacks and be like, fuck it, I'm still gonna make it.
Exactly. That's why I've always said survival turns you into a business owner. Because guess what? When you take moral ownership over your life and you don't have bailouts, you're in survival mode, and that's going to turn you into an enterprise, or it's going to make you industrious. Now you got to fucking navigate the real world, motherfucker. And it's like you're trapped in Vegas with no plane ticket home. How are you going to get home? You're going to fucking figure it out. You're going to have to use social acumen. You're going to have to use your social skills. You're going to have to sharpen some fucking blades. It's just that simple. And you're going to have to do it on the spot. You have no time. And that my life has been a constant example of that. I'm out of time. Every day I'm running hard, and I don't slack. I just don't slack. I got the jets on, and when they're not on, they're completely off because I don't do things half-assed. So I'm either all the fuck in and all my energy's devoted to it, or I'm completely chilling. There's no in between. Because I ain't gonna sit there and type at a computer and do some fucking desk work if it's not completely balls to the wall. Like if I'm gonna write an email, that email is coming out in 30 minutes, and it's gonna be a masterpiece because I'm just gonna spill my fucking guts in one sitting. I don't need to come back to it. I don't need to make edits. I don't need to make incisions. I don't need any of that because it's already within me, and I just want to get it out. I just want to purge it. So that was a great question, man. I'm gonna keep it moving. Rad, talk to us.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. Don't really have a question. Just want to say thank you to you and basically everybody else who talks the same shit that you do because it's real and this is the only place where you're gonna find shit like this. I came on Twitter looking for other people that were looking for the truth, and naturally, people always find themselves in the same realm, whether it's Bitcoin, self improvement, religion. It's all the same, right? I mean, what we're witnessing right now is we're literally having a renaissance, right? Everything that you say, Brute, is shit people were saying thousands of years ago, right? Like this shit it's not different, right? Nothing that's happening right now is any different. We're the same people that we were thousands of years ago, and we're heading into a golden age, right? And this is the renaissance that brings us there, and this is the shit that we always need to talk about, right? That we always need to focus on, and it's helping a lot of people, right? Because this world, our society is literally engineered to make you lost, right? And to not know these things. And yeah, man, you're helping a lot of people. I just want to say that, and anybody else that talks about the same shit, like mine, Bowtied, everybody on here, it's
Exactly.
crazy, man. You guys are having an
Exactly.
impact.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And that's the whole thing too, is that when you live the way that I'm talking about, it's the most ethical way to live because you're actually plundering and pillaging the world for its wisdom as well. So like when you're taking these trips to hell in those lonely states, those lonely fucking nights where you don't have a shoulder to cry on, that's when the wisdom, the epiphanies, that's when they all hit you. And then you can take that back to the world. You can take that back to your kids because there's no point in going to war and getting all these war stories if you're not going to pass down that wisdom to your kids and you're not going to pass that down to the next generation. That's why I'm on Twitter, because I've lived it. I've taken so many trips to hell that quite frankly it's hard not to go back. I got to pull myself back now because every time I've gone to hell, I've come back so much stronger and so much wiser and so much tougher that I actually now have to put a leash on myself because I don't mind mixing it up. I don't mind going into the depths of despair sometimes because I know I'm going to come out a better person. But that also is a very delicate balance because you can't live your whole life like that either. At some point, you got to come back to the light. So I appreciate it, man.
Yep, everybody have a good day. Be good. Stay humble. And you're either getting worse every day or you're getting better every day. You're never staying the same. So just everybody focus on getting better. Getting better every fucking day. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Touche, man. We got B on.
Basically, I started making money online this year as a sales rep. So I'm from South Africa. I'm from a third world country. So I make money in USD. So it's my second month as an SDR, and I'm looking at base salary, and it's gonna be like 3K, and that's a lot of money. And basically, I still live with my parents, and I'm looking around, and I'm realizing that my dad and my older brother don't know any of this shit. Like, they're not financially literate at all. And I'm realizing that I'm basically gonna have to be the one to carry my family out of basically poverty and still having to figure everything out basically at like 22. So I don't even know how to handle any of this at all. Like,
We all are, man. The boomers are the most lied to generation in history, man. They've been absolutely bamboozled to the bone, from
hmm?
nutrition to politics to fucking interpersonal
You're
dynamics. They have
sending
been
a voice note.
absolutely
My bad, yeah. You send a voice note. Mm.
yo. Yeah, when I'm talking, you're not talking. The What I was saying is that the structure of it is, man, is that we all have a responsibility to reverse course because we are kind of the chosen generation. That's just what it is. Like, we have to. I've seen so many flaws in my parents. Like, my parents have been a perfect example of how not to live. I mean, if I had followed their advice or taken the course of path that they laid out for me, I would have driven my life off a cliff a decade ago. And I think a lot of guys are in that same position because the boomers, even though they're well intentioned, and to be quite honest with you, I don't even know if they are well intentioned at this point. There seems to be some sort of very weird, malicious resentment that a lot of boomers had towards their kids. I think because a lot of these boomer parents subconsciously think that we're a burden to the freedom that they had before they had us. And so it's like one of the first generations where you kind of get this pulse. When you put your finger on the pulse, you kind of understand that these parents had this kind of weird resentment for their children. And we have all been kind of bestowed this kind of grand mission to kind of untangle all that and figure it the fuck out. Because I mean, I'll tell you something. My son turns 2 this month, and I am raising him literally the complete opposite of the way my parents did, and he's off to a fucking tremendous start. So it starts with us, and that's why these conversations are so fucking important to have. But I appreciate that sentiment, man. I'm gonna keep it going. Gray, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, bro? So I've been following you for a while. I'm not sure if you've touched up on this, but I live in Vegas too. But how do you go off of working like 2 days in a row with like lack of sleep? Like, any advice?
Man, that's such a fucking personal question. I mean, my thing is this. I don't see any point whatsoever in obsessing and stressing about 8 hours night sleep if eventually you're not gonna fucking go spend that shit. Like, what are you expending all that energy for? I know motherfuckers who do it for a decade. They're obsessed with their little fucking nighttime rituals. They go to bed and they get 8 hours of sleep, but then what are you doing with all that rest? At some point you gotta fucking go on some kind of bender to create something, right? So that's my thing is like I go on cycles too where I'm 8 hours every fucking night. And then sometimes I got to go 6 months on 3 hours sleep. But that's because I invested the fucking 8 hours before that. Because sleep debt, I do believe, is real. Sleep debt is real. Like eventually you do got to pay that shit back. So it's just a matter of, I mean, are you fucking are you on 3 hours sleep so that you can do Molly and play video games, or are you on 3 hours sleep because you're actually accomplishing something? Two very fucking different things. If I'm on 3 hours sleep, you bet your ass that something fucking magnificent's going on.
Amen, amen. But I'm just basically just working 2 jobs right now. So
Yeah, you don't have a choice, and
yeah,
I mean, that's fucking. I think that's where you're building spirit right there. because
cool.
because you have to because you have to understand, dude, fundamentally exhaustion and being tired is the easiest emotion to tap into. You cannot name an emotion that is easier to cop out, quit, surrender, give up than tired. Anybody can be tired at any point. If you take a man's goals and ambitions away, he's tired. Man is a naturally tired creature. We're naturally tired beings. But it's interesting that when you put more on your plate and you take on more responsibility, that has a replenishing component to it. That infuses men with more energy. It's very ironic and it's very counterintuitive, but I mean, dude, there's many given points throughout the day where mentally I can see myself slipping into exhaustion.
Mhm.
And I feel like part of being a man is fighting against that. It's one of the few aspects of yourself that you actually do have to fight against, because being tired is endemic. It's endemic to the species. It's who we are. It's just part of the fucking game. It's hardwired in. But I feel like those who can actually combat that go a lot fucking further than other people who don't.
Amen, man. Amen.
So good
So
on you, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
What's
you
up?
for that.
You got another question?
No, not really, not really. I just want to hear everything now. You
All
answered
right,
my
brother.
question. Thank you,
Yep.
man.
I'm gonna keep it moving. You got it. Let's hear from Wild Man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
What's up, bro?
So I kind of wanted to, piggyback off that last guy's question. So how do you combat, that tiredness when you get it, middle of the day, right? Like, is it all mental for you, or I know you're big on health. Of course that can help, but sometimes, like you said, it just comes up. Is it all mental for you, or do you just like slunk a coffee, or how's that work?
No, it's 100% mental, and one of the best ways I can frame it to you is that you got to show up. So if I'm exhausted, first thing I'll do is I'll pry myself into the gym, because if you just show up, 90% of the battle is already completed. Like if I show up to the gym, sometimes I'm actually so beat up and so exhausted, I'll just go to the gym and I'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna take an empty bar and do some mobility drills. I'm just gonna kind of fuck around and just play with the bar a little bit. All of a sudden, after 20 minutes, I'm throwing weight on there. And then all of a sudden, I'm stacking more weight on there. And then all of a sudden, I'm stacking more weight on there. And then all of a sudden, I have one of the best workouts that I ever could have fucking imagined, even though I was dead fucking tired an hour ago. And all of a sudden, I'm just stacking plates. And maybe I even hit a personal record that day, because how you feel is a lie. How you feel is a lie. You never know what you're capable of until you fucking try. And I mean, I've had some of the best workouts. I've had some of the best spurts of creativity. I've had some of my best successes in business when I felt like absolute fucking dog shit. And I showed up anyway. So I think it's important to suit up and show up no matter how you feel. And that has this sort of, it's like quantum mechanics, man. It has this quantum mechanical effect of just kind of, you go through the motions, and then all of a sudden you start fucking feeling good, and then all of a sudden you start making progress. If you are somebody who can make progress under severe exhaustion, you're going places in life. It's just that simple.
That's beautiful. It's like you just get the ball rolling, and it's almost like the universe rewards you for putting in that effort while others just tap out.
Of
That's
course.
beautiful.
How could I feel so shitty, but I'm still putting up so much weight? How is that possible? Because there's some reconciliation of the spirit in that. That's what that is. That's that great epic battle that we're all in search of. That's what I'm talking about. It's always you versus you, right? Life is it's a one player game. It always has been.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Can I
Great
jump in
question.
and just say something real quick, Brute, about the topic that he was talking about?
Yeah, go ahead,
I
brother.
just want to say that a lot of people will also tell you that it's okay to rest, and it can fuck with your mind as well. They'll tell you that it's okay to take a day off, or if you're tired, you need to go rest, and everyone else is doing the same thing around you. And sometimes your mind plays tricks with you, and it tells you that it's okay. Everyone else is doing it. So sometimes you gotta ignore that, and you gotta take initiative yourself and say, you know what, fuck it. Am I actually doing the right thing? And you'll be surprised that a lot of the times your mind lies to you. So you got to be aware of that.
Of course. And you also have to have that competitive spirit, because I'd force myself to do things every fucking day that I really don't want to do, just because I want to fucking crush. Just because I want to crush and stay ahead of the people that I dislike. And that's like, that fosters this ethic that I'm talking about, where I think a lot of guys struggle to really force themselves to do things that they really don't want to do. And what's interesting about that is it's very paradoxical, because it's also coming from a natural place. I'm also honoring myself when I do that. It's not necessarily that I'm going against the grain. It's that I understand that as a man, my responsibility is to wrestle with these psychic forces and get the best of them. And if you're unwilling to do that, then you're just gonna fucking burn yourself out. That's why I always say laziness is a myth. Do you understand the energetic expenditure that it takes to be lazy? People don't get it. People look at people that are lazy and do nothing. They're like, that motherfucker, how is he so tired? Because it takes a great deal of energy to ignore the things you know you have to do in your head. That is an enormous tax on your energy. It's an energy leak. Mohammed, we got you on.
Yeah, okay. What's up, bro?
Fire away.
Yes, speaking about surviving setbacks, I think men should educate themselves about what happens all over the world. I mean, I live in Jordan. It's engulfed by Palestine, Syria, and the fucking Iraq. We hear a lot of stories from the refugees, etc. I mean, what do you think about if you lose some money, if you lose your girlfriend? What about the men who lost their children? They picked them from the rubble, and who lost their whole family, their whole country, and they are nothing, without identity, without any destination right now. So these stories always inspires me that whatever happens, there could be something worse. And I think it's not just that. We can look around the history. We are in the most comfortable era in our time, in human time. So
of course, because some men just understand that eventually you have to get over it sooner or later, or it's going to destroy you. Some men just choose sooner. It's just that simple. Some men just choose to get over it sooner, because sooner or later you got to get over it.
Yes.
And I'm one of those. I just choose sooner, dog, every time.
So after what happened to all the peoples in the war zones, we look at them, they are still alive. They are still getting things accomplished. They are surviving. So I look to myself and say, what these problems are compared to them? It's really nothing. Losing a woman, losing all your finances, it's really nothing. You are still in one piece.
Yeah, I mean, I would be careful of that though, man. I never found any kind of grace or solace in looking at the misfortunes. Like I don't find inspiration of knowing that it could always be worse. That's not where my competitive edge is. My competitive edge is how can I be where someone has it better. That's where I have the complete inverse point of view on that. There's someone who always fucking has it worse than me. That's just, I mean, that's like the most fucking baseline state. I don't feel like that's for men that really have it going. I don't think that's an adequate source of motivation or fuel, because that's also a form of self-deception. How come people don't ever fucking put that in reverse and talk about getting to the level of people that have it better than them? You don't hear that. You just hear people using these anecdotes of people in war-torn countries who've lost everything and it could always be worse. And you know what people do, man? They use that as a cope to stay right where they are. Because if there's someone that always has it worse than you, why should you change? Why should you change? If you're a fat fuck and you know that someone has it still way worse than you, why do you have any motivation to change? And that's the main issue that you see with the modern man, is that the modern man walks by other men that they clearly see who have what they want, and rather than trying to take or integrate or borrow the qualities and aspects of that man that could make them better, you know what they do? They turn their fucking cold shoulder and they look down in shame. They look down in shame rather than walking by these other aspirational figures and say, you know what? I want to be like that motherfucker. That motherfucker's going to push me to the next level. So I would just be very fucking careful about using those anecdotes, because trust me, there's a lot of sharks who ain't using that as fuel because they know it's a weak way of doing it.
Yes, definitely. Sometimes people use this as to pity themselves. I am good, but
exactly. No shit, someone has it worse than you. No shit, someone has it worse than you.
That's no shit.
Like, that's fucking obvious.
But I heard you're talking about the naked man. I think these stories, the people who live in tough situations, should inspire you to be a better as a naked man when you have nothing.
Correct. That's the stronger reframe right there. I'm going to take the next question, man. Thank you. Pierre, what do you got?
Yeah, hi, Bruce. I had a question about like mind and stress. So I was wondering, let's say you have like an important business meeting with an important person. You have like a competition, like a moment that is important for you, and you keep like overthinking about it. Like, yeah, like your mind is telling you you're not gonna do good at it. Like, how can you train your mind? How can you do? You have like any advices or like training you can do about this?
Yeah, do the fucking opposite and go in and do some improv. Start working on the fly, because that ingenuity is a very, very coveted skill that I think is lacking in this society, is that people feel like they have to be prepared before they go into everything. And if you put yourself in enough situations and you view yourself as an escape artist, I'm gonna go in this shit and I'm gonna fucking pull a Houdini. I'm gonna go in here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out using whatever data is coming to me in real time. That's how you really fucking build that mindset. I will intentionally go into situations unprepared. I don't give a fuck about preparation. That course that I built a fucking course on Twitter where it's like 17 hours of like very in-depth videos of me talking on various subjects. I didn't write a motherfucking thing down. My cameraman was blown away. He was like, dude, how are you spilling all this without index cards, flashcards, zero preparation? I was like, dude, because it's all within me. Just fucking get the camera rolling. I'm just going to start talking. I already have it all inside. And that's a perfect question because it goes back to my original point of that identity. When you're aligned with your core, you have all the fucking answers. I don't need external preparation. Just fucking put me in, coach. I'm going to start fucking performing. I'm going to fucking figure it out. If I snap my leg, I snap my leg. It is what it is. Frank.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Should you compare yourself to your previous self, to your future self, or to others?
Others is a definite fucking no. I mean, dude, it's kind of a metaphysical question. I don't really have those metrics, past self, future self. I put my best foot forward every fucking day, one foot in front of the other. And I mean, a lot of times you got to have regressions in order to go forward. I think that's part of life. That's kind of the whole central topic here, setbacks, right? I mean, sometimes you got to go back 3 steps in order to go forward 10. So there's going to be oscillation. And I just think embracing that process is more important than these sort of, intellectual, conceptualized kind of games that we play with ourselves, like past self, future self. Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like, that's an endless intellectual morass that you can just fucking pluck through forever. Like, there's no finality to that. There's no closure in those types of questions. And I think people get hung up on those questions that don't have closure because they know they can play these endless games with themselves. I like finality and closure. I ask myself questions that I can actually generate a real answer to. And past self, future self, that's so abstract. Like, I get what you're saying, obviously, but it's extremely abstract. And I think that people can use that as a tool to just be stuck in whatever fucking situation they're in and play games. So I would advise you to ask questions to yourself where you can actually get closure. Real answers, real solutions and real answers. That's what I'm all about.